And Mr. Cooper, to you now. On March 22nd, you published an article with the headline, Liberal MP Han Dong secretly advised Chinese diplomat in 2021 to delay freeing the two Michaels. Do you stand by this headline?
I don't write the headlines, but I stand by the story. I know that Global News stands by the story, and there is a legal procedure underway. And the story speaks for itself, and the statement of defense speaks for itself. The story stands.
Thank you. So despite the fact that the article used the term allegedly at least about 10 times, you chose to frame the headline, or the newspaper chose to frame the headline excluding that language in the headline. Was that done on purpose?
That's incredible.
I said at the outset I won't speak to editorial processes or legal procedures, but I can assure the honourable member that legal vetting and editorial vetting of these stories is extremely rigorous.
Thank you.
That's
and
all I'll say.
Why didn't you
matter.
include allegedly in the headline, Mr. Cooper?
Sorry?
Why did you not include allegedly in the headline?
This is a matter for editorial procedures and legal vetting procedures.
Okay. Did you review the transcript from the supposed conversation between MP Dong and the Consular General?
I told the member, the honourable member at the outset, that I'm not going to speak to editorial processes,
I don't think so.
identification of sources, or legal procedures around this story, and I'll repeat it again and again.
Thank you. And will you table the supposed transcript that we've learned from the Right Honourable David Johnson's report does exist? If you have or haven't reviewed that, I understand you won't talk about it. Will you table that with this committee, the transcript, please?
I didn't prepare any materials around that question, and I'll stand, as I told the honourable member, I'm not going to speak to
You can send
materials.
it in later, Mr. Cooper, if you'd like. We'd be happy if you would table it with the committee. Will you table it with the committee?
Going back to my introduction, I'm not going to speak to editorial processes or legal processes around
So
prior
Global News
stories.
has, that report has actually put in a statement that Global News has not confirmed the allegations in the story. And the Globe and Mail refused to run a story, similar story, because they couldn't verify the claim that was made in that story. So what I'm interested to know is, based on the fact that these were allegations, in the statement of defense, Global News also says that these were allegations and not meant to be taken as fact. How could you, with any degree of journalistic integrity, publish an article that is sheerly just based on unfounded allegations?
The article is based on going back to my opening statement for the honourable member, and I'll reiterate it again and again. The story stands. I will not speak to identification of sources. I will not speak to editorial processes, and I want the member to remember, I will not speak to legal processes surrounding this story.
Thank you for that. Mr. Cooper, the Canadian Association of Journalists has ethics guidelines that state, we journalists seek documentation to support the reliability of these sources and their stories, and are careful to distinguish between assertions and fact. The onus is on us to verify all information. Do you agree that that is the ethics guideline that you should be following as a journalist?
The story stands, and we're here today because of a body of
this?
reporting, and I'll remind the member that I said I'm not going to speak to editorial processes.
So is that
or
a no
legal
then?
processes.
You don't
No,
believe
it's
that
not
you
a
should
no.
follow the ethics guideline for your own profession?
The answer, honourable member, is the story stands and the body of work stands.
Okay, so
And
we
we are
know
here
that the
today
headline
because of
was
the body of work.
demonstrably false, sir.
I'm just going to pause and just remind us that one person speaks at a time. Mr. Cooper, I know that you're not a stranger to how committees operate, so there is sometimes repetition around here, and I think it sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't. So members do have the time, and if we can just have an exchange back and forth, because the work that we're doing, it's important work. But I will just, a reminder, one person speaks at a time because it helps with the record in translation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the National Security and Intelligence Advisor, the Right Honourable David Johnson, the Director of CSIS, deputy ministers and ministers all confirm that the headline that you published as a part of that story was demonstrably false. So did you knowingly mislead Canadians?
The story stands. The editorial procedures and the legal procedures around that story are subject of a legal procedure, as you know. And at the outset, I told the honorable member the story stands, and I will not speak to editorial processes or legal procedures regarding my prior story.
I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as I enjoy putting the material on here. This is not just about politics. I sing some of my favorite songs from the Great American Songbook. And you can also watch my latest show where we do some of the news you're not going to hear anywhere else. But please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be part of this station, please be a subscriber. We want you.